even know how to word.
We're live, boys.
You can tell I'm new to this.
What's your? Oh, that's just it. Just says Woodward Sports. I was like,
Yeah,
is that a participation medal?
No, it's bronze medal. Third place, boy. Out of like 6.
Third place. That was
no, out of 8. Out of 8.
You got a.
Ain't bad.
60-something% there.
Some math. We ready to roll?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Oh, we're recording. All right. What? I thought you were gonna like you were gonna say something.
I was gonna say something like, "Got the hair good? You got the hair good? You ready?"
I got to, man. I gotta keep the superstar look up. Welcome everybody to the Rap Cave Podcast, episode 91 of the Rap Cave Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Chris Platte, aka Platte Pies, aka not elite. It's just elite in this hip hop shit. I'm with a few good friends of mine. I got Bryce flying in from somewhere nice. B Mike Birdie. CB Cowboy Brian in the building.
What's
and
up?
AP on the ones and twos. Holding it down, it down.
Scranton, what? The Electric City.
Scranton, what? Dude, I swear to God, ever since I seen you wear that hat, I just can't stop. I can't stop thinking about that. Call man Dwight just to see what's shaking. That shit is ridiculous.
He had points.
He did. He had bars. Some better than some of these rappers. We'll get to him. But gentlemen, I did see before we get to our two topics today, I did just honestly that Daily Nowd thing. I knew it was Daily Nowd right away, but it was actually a good conversation piece. It said that Spotify is generating an AI tool that allows you to bleep the features of a song you don't want to hear. Obviously, that's fake news, but I thought it was kind of funny to think about. If you could do that to a song.
I'm not surprised that if it was real at this point.
I think it could happen. But if it were to happen, if you had that power right now in your phone, what would it?
Sicko mode.
What part?
Drake, obviously.
Question.
Oh, Travis.
No question.
Hey.
Just all of It's just empty where Travis is supposed to be. You and that bitch freestyling. Like, I'm going sicko mode. I got
Replace it with Saha the Prince.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Replace it with Zion the Prince.
I'll go mine because mine ties in with that. Fair trade, Travis Scott. Fuck out of here.
That's a good one.
That
Matter
one.
of fact,
it's not just features. It's also just like sounds, or you could like apparently omit anything.
Company, Travis Scott, get the fuck out of here.
Wait, what song's Company?
That's
I don't even remember
if you're
it.
reading this is too
Oh
late.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He didn't need to be on.
I forgot he was even on that shit. Yeah, you don't mind. Man, they got one song.
Travis Scott is terrible.
Hey, you better watch. You better watch how you talk to your fourth favorite artist, your fourth most listened to artist. That's your
You
man.
must have not seen the update.
Yeah. No. Shout out. Hey, I did listen to that album. That album's tough. What's his name? I want to shout him out.
Paco Panama.
Oh, Travis
Yeah.
Scott. Oh. I got a quick
My
one. 'Cause
gold ticket, Astro World.
I was just thinking about this the other day. I hate to say it because of the respect that I have for him outside of recently, but the first verse of Father Stretch My Hands Part 1 needs to go. We don't need that there.
No.
Everything else in that song is perfect.
Model.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't care. That shit's corny
Oh
to me.
my god, that
shit's
shit
whack.
is so funny. The iconic video. You guys seen the iconic video on YouTube of this mother, like this white like mother, looks like she's from like Romeo Park, you know? I mean, like type area, and she's just listening to that song, and she's like, "Oh, well, that's nice." Like she's just having a fucking complete rage or while she's listening to her son's like library, and they film like that part of that song where she's listening to it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's just like, I don't know. For some reason, I thought about that the past week. It's like Kanye is one of the greatest rappers, but he's also that shit is whack. That whole verse is just not good.
That's not
at
wavy?
all. Not even in the slightest.
That's
There's
not
no
wavy?
redeeming quality.
Hey, you know what I thought you were gonna say? I thought you were gonna say no favors, Eminem, because you hate that one line.
Well, you know what? I didn't even think. I was so mad
'Cause you
about
hate
that
that
Kanye
one line.
shit. Yeah.
But that's one line though. You said the rest of the verse is cool, right?
Not. I mean,
For no
kind
favors?
It
kind of,
exists.
but it's sodomized
see.
like an ass raper. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess for me, and I know there are way better ones because I wasn't ready for this one, but the first thing that came to my mind, and I know it's not even the best song, but Move That Dope with Future, Pharrell, Pusha T, who the fuck needs to hear what Casino think at a time like this? Who the fuck listened to Casino at any point in life after that?
I don't even.
That was the last verse of that song.
I don't remember that verse.
Gotta be a
I don't
remix.
even remember that
No,
verse.
that's on the original. It is
Hell.
Pusha T,
gotta be
Then
then
unofficial.
Pharrell, then Casino. Because the song is
Who
Put
the
That
f-
Money
is
with
Casino?
Casino.
Casino sounds like a generated name, like you're trying to come up with like an Xbox gamer tag, and it's like, oh yeah, Casino's still open for rap names.
So
Yeah,
I
with
thought,
like an X in it somewhere.
I know when that song came out, I said, okay, you know what? Future's trying to put this person on. Maybe this was just a bad verse. And I listened to that man's mixtape, and I'm pretty sure I'm just recently recovering from my ears
strong.
bleeding on a regular basis from
It was
that
probably
bullshit.
like 15 years ago or so.
Listen, I'll put it to you like this: Casino make Ace Hood look like Tupac.
Speaking of Tupac,
I got a Tupac one.
Tupac, hit him up, Outlaws, get them niggas.
Yeah.
That is automatically not a top 5 this
Hey.
song, in my opinion.
Can I-
But them niggas on there, hell no.
They did not need to
Cowboy-
be on there.
Cowboy
that
Bryant.
shit was trash. Them
For-
niggas was whack as hell.
Before you give yours, I got to double up on me and Birdie locked in this episode because my one is if I want to disrespect like an all-time great hip-hop song, get Dr. Dre the fuck off California Love, dog. I know. We all know.
And I welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West.
We
Yeah,
all
I was
know
actually-
we're here for that hook and Pac's verse. And
Yeah,
that's it.
and I don't hate it,
I don't
but he's
think- I
just
don't
like
Your
he's
city
just,
is a bomb if your city make it bang.
He's just
I don't think his verse
talking.
was that bad though.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I
Yeah.
don't think it's that.
No,
To-
it's
to be
not.
deleted.
You just wait for. You just kind of like, all right. Can we get
All
to
right,
the good part?
If I could omit one thing, the one Biggie line.
You
Oh.
so
You don't gotta say it. We all know what we're talking about.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know what he's talking about, but you know what I'm talking about.
I've met a lot of beautiful women. Never once had that thought.
Never felt like
That
that.
ain't happening.
Never.
Never once had that thought.
All right, so if I had to pick one, God damn it, it's gonna be P Diddy on damn near every song. Like, and if I gotta pick exactly one, get Buck in here, DJ Felly Fell. Why did P Diddy even need to be on that track?
I mean, to be fair, P. Diddy just finds a way to slip himself into any track that he on.
He slips himself into a lot of things.
I start as soon as he said it, I was like, anything with P Diddy on it, let's just erase that immediately.
He was never a good rapper to begin with.
He wasn't.
No.
I don't know why he was like,
Come
oh
to
yeah,
death
now
row.
is my time to shine.
You could have thrown Flavor Flav on any of those songs, and it would have been the same fucking song. It really
Equally
would've
as
been.
bad, but still the same.
That's what I mean. It would have been the exact same song.
Yeah, man. That's good. We could do a whole hour on that. I'm not gonna lie. We could sit here. We could just
I
just
could-
jog our memories of all the fucking terrible verses on good songs. But I figured that was a good way. Figured that was a good way to start this kind of episode here because we got some legacy talk. Hey, it's been about a
We've
week
never
since
talked
we
about
talked
that.
about Drake or Cole or Kendrick, so we had to get back to it. But before we get back to that, Fetty Wapp coming home.
Yeah, I saw that. It looked
After
like he was
3
coming
years?
out to the Jennifer Hudson show for real.
Yeah,
When
is
he
that
walked out-
that show?
So I was so confused.
I was like,
Wait,
he
What
should be-
is that
why-
show
what-
where they do this little
Yeah.
soul
You know,
train?
Yeah.
I'm like, why aren't you dancing, bro? Why aren't you dancing right now?
I didn't know what show that was, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's
That nigga
crazy.
broke out 0 moves.
Strolled
on down.
Thank you.
This man has
Thank
been in.
you.
To be fair, this man's been in jail long enough. I guess he just don't know what's out there
I
anymore.
don't,
So
I don't know, bro. But
Man.
when they
I would've
when they were
been-
coming
He
down
looked
that hallway,
I've
they-
been hitting the jerk or something. I
Yeah,
remember I was
yeah,
out when that was
hit
out.
hit them temptation moves.
yeah, you got people like Rob Lowe doing the worm down that bitch. You gotta do something.
Bro,
No,
I
for real, what show is that?
Yeah, no,
It
what
wasn't
show?
a
That shit
show.
just started. That shit
Oh,
just started popping up.
it's the Jennifer Hudson show. It's
It
like
is?
where they have all those intros. And
Oh, okay.
all
I
that.
remember what's that American Idol judge or whatever. He had like a really awkward one.
Simon
yeah,
Cowell.
the dude
so-
that's
no, the Jennifer Hudson shows where like they're introducing everyone down the hallway and whatever. But that's what the Fetty Wap thing really looked
It
like.
looked like exactly like that. I got that same vibe. I didn't know what
somebody-
show it was though.
Somebody, I was reading the comments on it earlier, and somebody was like, it looked like he was getting out of the hospital when someone just rang the cancer-free bell. I was dying, bro.
I will say, it looked like he ain't been doing nothing but push-ups in that bitch for real.
Yeah, he definitely like he was getting swallowed.
Yeah, he was swole as fuck.
I give him credit. Listen, his depth perception was probably a little bit off for obvious reasons.
So
He said, "Goddamn, when does this hallway end? Because none of my other hallways are this long."
Can't really see the end.
He also he did cut his time in over half though, which is
Shout out.
you know, I mean, I don't know. Could
Hey.
be, I don't know whether to. I mean, he was in for fraud. I don't care. It's not murder, so.
yeah.
And drugs.
Well,
I thought
either
it was
way,
drugs.
It was drugs.
maybe it was drugs. Either way, not murder.
Fraudulent drugs.
That synthetic shit.
Hey man. Hey man. Hey, we go double the time just because you were smoking that fucking Reggie. You're so, like, they just started clowning on him.
He was in there smoking rigs.
But that had me ask the question. Obviously, the last like big like come home from prison was Bobby Shmurda, and you saw that there was like some noise around it and wasn't able to do it. Now, obviously, it's been several years removed since. It's not like Fetty Wapp's been in prison. Like, it's not the Bobby Shmurda situation at all.
Yeah, it's
way different.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
way
yeah.
different. So I wanted to ask, can he like come back, or I don't think there's really going to expect momentum there. So to me, the bigger question is he one of the greatest what ifs like in hip hop?
I will start by saying that I will say the difference at the core of that is that I think there's a clear difference between look, I hate to like say this about, anything as far as hip hop goes, but Bobby Shmurda was big because he became a meme. That really is what a lot of his notoriety was.
Well, and the song.
Yeah, well, the song became
The
The meme did,
I
yeah.
mean,
You know what I
we
mean?
still wonder if that hat ever came down.
Yeah, and we still don't know if that hat ever came
Bro,
down. No,
that's-
exactly.
I like how you did it. We both looked up
Those
to
edits
like,
are like, I'm like, no.
Like y'all
Still
really
up there.
wondering.
Yeah.
Y'all are really waiting for it. But I think the difference is that Fetty Wapp doesn't have. Well, it's funny because Fetty Wapp kind of does have that meme ability about him. Like
He did.
They put him over like Family Guy clips and shit like
Wow.
that. It's like Lois is like, "Hey, Peanut, let me play you this song." It's like I'm like, "Hey, what's up, hello?"
and the thing, yeah, because Trap Queen did have the meme ability, and also you got to think about it. Bobby Shmurda really had those two big, like one big hit, and then one kind of moderate hit with Bobby Bitch. Fetty Wap
Yeah.
had a run of like
multiple
6
hits.
hits.
But
Yeah,
like
I
a
think it was
2 years
7.
span.
I just like I want to see.
think it was
I'd
like
like to
7.
see Fetty Wap do well going forward, but I don't think that anyone was sitting there like waiting for
Yeah.
it, waiting for
they
him to
weren't,
get out.
but
and
I do,
whatever.
and that's the thing, because like you said, it's different than Bobby, because Bobby had that like really had his he's still rising on his hits.
And then it happened.
Then
yeah.
before he went to jail, while Fetty Wap has been a persona non grata in the community
Yeah.
for a long time. That's the one thing about it, though. I don't know if that's, he came out of jail saying he wants to like help children and all that type of stuff. I don't know if that's what his focus is, but his name has never been bigger than it is at this moment. So if he were going to try to capitalize, people would at least, I don't know if it'd be good, but people
Yeah.
would at least listen if he came out with something.
I think, bro, the way he made so many hits so fast, like I really thought that, and the way his hits still sound good today, like I feel like there is talent in there, like, but I don't know.
Not, he is a talented
Yeah.
artist overall.
But-
like I'm not gonna say he's like not good or not good at what he does. He was never like, oh, he's whack. Da 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 da. Like
But the conversation with him is interesting because it's like you have a lot of people saying like, oh, he just released all his hits and then they pushed it out in this one album. They didn't like space them and like give him time to breathe and let everything cook and all that. They just kind of like dried him up real fast and it was over in a flash.
he
And
makes his hits.
maybe I don't know. I don't know, man. But like I think back at it, like, and he really was like that album was like fucking. When he emerged, it was like everybody was playing it. Every sector
that
of hip
gets-
hop, everything.
I think he was saying though he got blackballed after that Drake situation. Though.
Which is
Right.
very possible.
Yeah.
And that's what I want
What
to say
was the
too.
Drake
Is we,
situation again?
Basically something like how Fetty Wap basically did that song with Drake or whatever, but he was trying to take his verse off and give it to his mans or some shit like that to be on the song with Drake, and I think Drake just ended up dropping a song with him and Fetty Wap anywhere. Or some
yeah,
shit like
and
that.
there's a history of when it comes to Drake and other artists. But
All
the
I
only
gotta
thing I
do
wanted
is
to
put
say,
my mind to this shit.
Who the
relating
hell
to the
trying to be on a song with this random ass nigga that nobody knows? Like, what the
Right.
fuck? I'm Drake. Like,
but the
Fetty Wapp
relating
was
to
just
the
trying to put his
conversation
mans
that
on,
we had
yeah,
just
fuck
had
that.
prior
Fuck
is
your
that.
mans. I'm trying to get a number one.
You can wait.
So we were talking about prior to the podcast, we were talking about like high school experiences,
Right.
because we were all different times overall. Is that when I was graduating, particularly 2015, is Fetty Wapp was the belle of the ball. He
That's
was
summer.
like top shit. Like
Yeah.
that was everyone loved that shit.
Right.
So it's interesting that's where it's real fun for me to like look at this
Mm-hmm.
now and be like, okay, where is he going to go
Yeah.
from this point forward? Because I watched him at that prime time.
That peak
moment.
is like
He
if
would've
you
been
weren't
10
there,
years
you
in the
won't
game.
understand. Like you won't understand it if you weren't
Right.
there at that peak.
I was
and everyone could
surprised-
say they were there, but like that was when I was
Yeah.
I was
graduating high school.
I was surprised he was so big because when I heard Trap Queen, I thought that shit was a joke.
I really
Really?
didn't.
Heard it. I
Honestly,
thought it
I
was a
did not
joke.
like
I thought
Trap
he was-
Queen either.
Yeah, I
it was
thought-
the other ones.
I thought
I
it was
never
some
had a
silly
problem.
shit that somebody put together. You know what I'm saying? Then this shit just started to get catchy after. a
Right.
minute.
Yeah.
I thought
it was his other hits that really blew up for me that I made like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah.
I really do
Yeah,
appreciate the
I
artistry.
always thought it was a swing of a song. Like it wasn't. It definitely wasn't like on par with like what else was coming out at that time. But I thought it was a chance that he took, and it worked.
Yeah.
And it fucking worked. It worked very well. That song is it's still huge.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm saying.
I
But-
think the thing. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I just wanted to get back to the question of like obviously there's a debate of like him flaming out and whatever, and they a lot of people will say that it is either blackball or like label mismanagement or a combination of those two things. Is he one of the greatest what ifs? Like do you guys have faith that had he had maybe like the right kind of guidance or whatever, he could have continued to run and became one of those guys? Like, could he have been Kodak? Could he have been Uzi? Could he have been like
T-Pain
one
or
of
What
those
If?
big? What?
Is T-Pain a what if? Or was he in it for too long to be?
I feel like he had too many moments.
No,
I feel like there
T-Pain's
is
not
another
T-Pain's
level.
not a what
T-Pain's
if.
I feel like
definitely
there's
not a
another
what if.
level that he
He
could have
has
went
the
to,
if.
but yeah.
He has
Yeah.
the if. He's not a what if.
I think of what ifs as like like the Derrick Roses where it was like, bro, it was like your 5th year and you were the MVP of the league, and it was just
That's
like,
what
you
I'm
know what I
saying,
mean?
though,
Yeah.
Like,
I
'cause
I think
how
it-
many? It was probably like what 3-4 years for T-Pain, then like he kind of like disappeared.
Was it only 3 or 4?
It was longer
I
than
feel
that
like it
because
was longer.
T-Pain's
think so?
never gone away
and
in my
T-Pain's
head.
always had a little influence in the game.
In the game, yeah.
Like we
one
haven't,
way
like
or
let's be
another.
honest. Before
So
Fetty
hold
Wapp
on.
went to jail, we hadn't even
When
heard.
he made his first, when he had his first hit, that was like what 05, right?
Something around there.
05, 06, 07.
That was
Rapper
like
turned
05.
singer.
Yeah, rapper turned singer.
Yeah, 04, 05, I say.
I'm in
Okay.
love with a stripper. 05, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, well, I say the last like big hit. What was it with Kanye? Was it Good Life?
Was that the last?
No, he's still.
can't think of
I,
nothing after
I
that.
think Wisconsin was past that.
I don't
Oh,
think so.
yeah.
I don't think so. Because
I think that was like 2011.
Wait, was it Carter 3?
Graduation was 07.
Carter 3 was 08. I can tell you that.
Oh, okay,
Carter
okay,
3
okay.
was 08. And then Wisconsin was.
I think that was like
after
2011 or
It was
some
like
shit.
after all that.
I can't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe it was
When
after
that
all
come
that.
out?
So he had a little bit further of a run, but T-Pain's different because he's maintained his. He found his spot.
And he
in the
also just
background.
went away.
But he's been a background player for years
Yeah.
and years and years,
Even
and
before that.
yeah, and so he kind of found his niche there, you know.
But no, I think he's a
was also
I think he's a great what if.
Oh wait.
I can't
Okay.
I can't
So-
call him a what if.
I'm not gonna. I would say I wouldn't call him a what if because I think he did have. Because
I
let's
think
be
he
honest,
just got way more hits than
he
than
has
Fetty
way
Wap.
more hits. Fetty
But
Wap really only had that
I'm
one
thinking,
year.
like,
Six or
I
seven,
don't think T-Pain run was like that long though.
But
For
it
real.
was over years. Fetty Wap's run was literally
2015, 2014.
it was literally
Yeah,
like,
It was
a-
like 2014, 2015,
Like a year and a half.
But the
season?
the
But he had
difference,
like 5 slappers during that
but
whole
the,
time.
the
like
difference between
that's a lot.
The difference between T-Pain and Fetty Wap, though, is that Fetty Wap, he had this moment, but it wasn't like T-Pain kept it going in the background, and T-Pain caused
Bro, we don't care
it caused
about the
a rift.
background though. That's the thing. Like if you ain't making no music, that's
No,
getting
no,
people
but
moving, we don't
let's
care what's
talk
going on in
about
the
just
background.
music itself. T-Pain caused a shift in hip hop.
Yeah.
Overall, top to bottom. Fetty Wap, although it was very different and it was new and it was fresh, he did not. His Fetty Wapp's style didn't stick the same
Jay-Z's
way that
not
T-Pain's choices stuck.
Jay-Z's not making Death of Auto-Tune if it's not for T-Pain's influence on the game.
Exactly, but you know,
That's a
then
fact.
I mean,
but Jay-Z's not making Death of Blind in One Eye, and then you know,
Damn.
Jay-Z can see. No, like that was
Like,
that
Jay-Z
was
can see
crazy
through both
straight.
vibes.
That was a crazy
I
straight.
just think about all the tracks that T-Pain is also featured on that kept him relevant. So to me, I would never call him a what if. I mean, like
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
he reached
I
a
still
pretty
think-
good ceiling.
I still don't think his career was like that long. no.
But the
I
point
mean, it's still
to
I think he
technically-
just put out a lot of
It's
hits
still
within that
technically
time
going
span.
though.
But
in
again,
a weird way.
But I don't think I'm not saying he'll
Because,
what
I mean,
if,
even
but I'm
that
just
song
saying.
was-
yeah,
with,
that's what I was
yeah,
gonna say.
well,
What was the
yeah, he
point
did- he
to-
just
I
did a
was trying
song
to
with-
I was trying to figure out what considers
A what if.
because that was
Okay.
still,
Yeah.
he still like had that superstardom.
Because he
But
did
it
one with
only
Glorilla
lasted
right
like 3
recently.
or 4 years, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
Well,
I think
and-
it went longer than
And
that.
again, I would say
I feel
that
like it didn't last
he's
that
had
long.
enough time as a background player too for so many things that we don't even know about. You know, it's
But
like
that don't
it's kind of
matter.
but it's the same thing as Quentin Miller. It's like, you know, Quentin
But who
Miller.
the fuck gives a fuck about Quentin Miller?
Half your
At a
favorite
time
fucking
like
songs.
But that don't matter.
It does.
No,
What do
it
you mean it
doesn't.
doesn't matter?
But who's banging Quentin Miller? Like, why does it matter what he's doing? in
If
the
you're listening
background?
to Drake, you're listening to Quentin Miller.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm listening to Drake. I
Quentin
do not
Miller
hear
made
Quentin
those
Miller.
songs.
I did not hear Quentin Miller's voice when Drake be singing, rapping, anything. I don't care if
So
he
if
wrote
it's not
album-
their song, then you don't respect anything they did for the song. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm
It's like-
saying is, Quentin Miller is not a superstar. He's not a what if. A background player is not a what if. He's just somebody who plays the background and does whatever. But that's not a what if. He's talking about what
I
if.
get what you're
No,
saying.
but that's
is
just
that
part of
it
the
is-
case, is what he's saying.
At
Part of it.
the
But
forefront.
that doesn't matter about T-Pain's part. Whenever T-Pain disappeared in the culture and he wasn't making no music that the culture was singing, that's it doesn't matter because nobody cares what he's doing in the background.
But that also does not mean that T-Pain was uninvolved, and that doesn't mean that he flopped
I'm
or
not
fell
saying
off.
that. Nobody's saying that.
I know, no, but I mean you in the middle. No, 100%, because I'm saying with like Quentin Miller is like everyone's heard his name, but obviously we know that he's been a background character for a lot of years, and that's what T-Pain has done past his prime of that 05 to 2010 era.
So,
Which-
go ahead.
I was going to say, because I do want to get back to Fetty Wap, but kind of to answer some of this, a little bit of the T-Pain questions here. So the first single, his first charting single on the Billboard was I'm Sprung back in 2005.
That was the first one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
I
was
thought
I'm
it was
Sprung, then I'm in love with a stripper. That was second.
Okay.
I'm Sprung hit number 8 on the Billboard. I'm in Love with the Strippers number 5. T-Pain then came out with his greatest hits album, which featured the new single
How you got
Up Down.
greatest hits
That's
when you
ballsy
just
to have
started?
a greatest hits that early.
Well, I'm
dog.
saying-
got greatest hits when
You
you
got the
just
greatest
started.
hits. You don't even have an album.
Well, no.
Just
What I'm
started.
saying is one of his last major charting solo single. Well, I shouldn't say solo, he had a feature. But one of his last lead artist singles was off of his greatest hits album, which came out in 2013, and that was Up Down All Day to this. Booty going up, down.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
outside of that, yeah. So that's
I forgot-
2013 to
honestly, I forgot
2005.
about that song
too,
altogether.
So that's you talk about. That's 8 years between first single and his last major charting single as the main artist.
Fuck it. Put him in the Hall of Fame.
Second draft.
But I did want to get back really quickly
Yeah,
to
the
the
Fetty
Fetty
Wap.
Wap aspect of it, because the thing about for me with Fetty Wap is I was looking at the discography, and he did have he had that first album that had like
Yeah, all
four
the hits,
major
yeah.
hits. So
Which
you're
you
talking-
don't get anymore. You don't get like 4 singles off of one album really very often at all anymore. Like the way that it
Especially
was
from
back then.
especially from a new artist.
Yeah, so he had Trap Queen 679 My Way, which had the
My
Drake
Way was
feature,
so crazy.
which also again a lot of Monty featuring on these later songs. And then again, so then you had that. Then you have him kind of branching out. He did have that one feature on that Fifth Harmony, Flex All in My Head. The thing that was interesting about Fetty Wap is just it's not like he had like a major fall off in terms of like the next 2 songs he released, Jimmy Choo and Wake Up, both of which were not well received. That was a year later. But still, it's like, okay, they're just kind of buzzing
Was
under.
My Way
they-
the last hit. Like
So,
the
I don't
last.
even really
Trap
remember
Queen
My
got
Way.
Trap Queen got to number 2 on the both U.S. and the hip hop rap. 679 got to number 4 on Billboard, 3 on Rap Hip Hop. My Way got 7 Billboard, 5 rap, and then again got 33 Billboard, 11 rap. And then the next 2 singles after that for his next, what was going to be his next album, were Jimmy Choo, which hit 65 and 19, and Wake Up, which hit 50 and 15. But that's the thing, is like those singles, usually you see an artist who releases like after their next album, we see it all the time. We've seen like what we talk, I know we're getting into Drake in a little bit, but Drake releasing a couple of singles just off the, Iceman streams that don't really make any waves. It doesn't mean that his career is over, but for some reason, for Fetty Wap, that was it. Like those 2 singles just did not hit, and they sounded so similar that people, it's almost like a DaBaby situation. Like, okay, what else? People are like, what else can you give me?
There's something to remember, though, also, when it comes to Fetty Wap's timing on everything is what happened in 2015 was the shift to streaming. Everything changed right at that moment. He was, like, honestly, one of the last, like, radio was on the radio, and that's how people heard about it.
Well,
That's
it was
a great point.
That was the switch from blog era to sound. That's like really the blick from blog to SoundCloud.
I won't even say sound, because SoundCloud was already kind of relevant. But
it was relevant, but it didn't.
What
it hadn't
started
hit
in
the main.
2015? Apple Music.
Yep.
And that's also around the time when Spotify made their full transition to what they were prior into that. So you have Fetty Wap, who's doing radio numbers. That like Trap Queen was a radio song. It was big when I was in high school. It was a huge thing. He caught the very fucking back end of that at the end of the day. And then it transformed into something else. Maybe he wasn't prepared for it. I don't know. Whatever it is. But I think that's a valid point to make, is that he was literally like the last of the Mohicans when it came to
That's wild.
depending on radio play.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I think to close this one, just because we got on the what ifs, and we could probably do a whole nother episode on it, but some people I'd throw in is like what ifs, because I like the question of defining it. Is like, you obviously have the Lupe, right? Like, had things gone differently with his label. That's like the first one that comes to mind. That's like the poster child when it comes to like hip hop what ifs.
I think
Yeah, he might be the best what if.
I think of
But
modern hip hop.
He had a good amount of hits too, though.
There's a
Yeah.
there's a world, but also there's also a world where
I think
he
it's a little
became
overgassed. Yeah.
a little more unimpressive at a point. I love Lupe, but
Yeah.
it
Lobsters
wasn't.
are
It
cool.
wasn't. He blames it on the industry. I don't know if I buy into that.
I heard some of the
entirely.
original tracks that were supposed to be on Lasers before Lasers got way too commercialized, and it had like Love Letter to the Beat with Alicia Keys. Like some of the leaks, those were actually really like more in the wheelhouse of what we had seen from Food and Liquor and the Cool.
And it's funny. I don't even hate Lasers as much as you guys do.
Oh, I
but
fucking hate that
I'm not
album.
a fan. It's worse than the Cool and Food and Liquor, but
Yeah.
It's
I don't despise the album.
there's nothing on that album I redeem to listen to.
I think. Oh, you know what? You know who'd
not
be
the worst album,
You
though.
know who'd be obviously
Not the worst.
other great what ifs. And this is the unfortunate side of it, but X and Juice for sure. Like the way they were, like I say again. I say this. I think this whole Big Three thing. I think this whole Big Three thing would have been a totally different. We would have been in a totally different landscape had those two passings not
If you
happened.
ask me, Juice had a lot more of a fighting chance than X had. When
I
it
think
came-
know about
X.
that.
I think X just he had that crowd,
They
man.
both would have been like.
It would have been an
I think
interesting.
I think they
It
would
would
have
have been an interesting thing because I think that Juice would have had more of like the pop radio aspect, but X would have been bigger in the hip hop community.
Like he would have been that like pop
But
cult
X
follower.
wasn't
You
even
know what I
making
mean?
hip hop at
X
the
would have
end of
had
the day.
that Playboy Cardi cult.
Kind of.
He would have had that Cardi cult
Not
for sure.
sort of,
Absolutely.
but to a degree.
100%.
I don't necessarily agree with that because he was already kind of venturing off into a little bit of a different space.
Well, who's to say you don't come back?
I
you know?
mean, yes, for sure. But what I'm saying is that between X and Juice, I think that X, rest in peace, whatever it is. I think he would have had he's more likely to have had a fall off than Juice would have.
For sure. I don't see it with how strong his fan base was, and honestly how like groundbreaking
His
he was.
album is still like one. Like
Yeah, it's literally like the top 5 streaming album of like all time. Like it's ridiculous.
That shit is crazy.
Still to this day.
I'm
leading on
not
that.
disagreeing with you.
No, I know.
Just
And
talking
plus he
like
had the lore,
terms
too.
of
Yeah,
long-
he did have
He
the
had the
lore.
lore. You have to think the whole Drake aspect angle of it too at that time.
Yep.
That was
That
going to
mug
continue.
shot, the mug
Yeah.
shot
That was
set
the
it
mug
off.
shot. Yeah, all those
That's
things.
iconic.
were
That's
gonna keep pushing
iconic
him
in
up
itself.
that.
That mug shot.
Yeah.
I agree. Again, not,
I know,
not
you're
di-
not saying he's
disagreeing
trash.
in
Yeah,
that-
I know
in
what you're
that
saying.
point, but I do think that Juice had more of a public appeal overall.
I think he's more
Oh
popular.
yeah, for sure.
He's gonna be. He was
I
gonna,
think
he was
I
gonna
think
dominate
that
the pop charts.
He would have
Yeah.
became the pop star. and
Absolutely.
then-
He would have
It would have
fucking.
been.
But
It would have been the new. It'd been like the not currently with everything post beef, but like kind of the Drake versus Kendrick thing. Like who's listening to what in what situation versus
that would have been a battle.
who would have been like the #1 Billboard artist. I think Juice
Yeah.
would have been Billboard popular, while X
He
would
would
be
have been a
like
darling.
the rappers.
The artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the artist. Yeah, like the one that like the that the music like enthusiasts will ride with.
So for me, if I had to throw
Yeah.
out one out there, Mac Miller.
I
Miller's-
can't say that because he had too. He was too
hell
deep
no.
in his career.
I don't know, man.
already-
That's still.
I do think he was reaching another peak when he
think-
passed.
I think he
I
had
think he
more
was
coming,
going-
and
Yeah, for
for us
sure.
to not get
That's
what he
not
had
what
next,
if.
I think
that's not
it
a
would have
what
been
if.
bigger
That's
than
not
what
a
he
what if.
would have.
He was not.
He would have been larger
He would
than
have
where he
continued
was.
to climb, but he already reached a very
Yeah,
mass
he's
point
breaking-
in his
he's breaking
career.
ceilings
It's
already.
not to the point of like, oh, what could have happened if he did, like he already reached such a point
I
that
think-
was like, I think he would have been bigger still.
You know who I think his career
because
would
he
have.
had the area. He was starting to get the Ariana Grande like crowd coming
Yeah,
in too.
and it's a different what if because it's like what if when you're already at this point if you live further. But
Yeah.
his climb there and take it from the biggest Mac Miller fan in the room, and I can tell you that.
Yeah, he was already there.
He was this far away as opposed to being this far away. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
And that's
it's a
what
little
that's
bit
what
of a
classify what if. Like to me, Mac is like one of those. Mac is one of those what ifs where it's just like, it's not a what if because of the fact of like he did have probably another level to go to. Like who I think he would be honestly. I think he would be making the jump we're seeing now from Tyler over the last several years.
I could see that.
Like I think it would have been very
I'd like
similar.
to say close, and as those being my two favorite artists, I would probably
I think their
honestly say-
careers
I
would
could-
be
I-
very similar.
I think so too.
Like I think because Mac was like I think Mac before he passed was kind of like maybe ahead of Tyler, but maybe in the same ballpark as Tyler as far as like the numbers, whatever. And then
around each other.
now you're seeing Tyler step into the arenas and you know all of that. But I think
the
that
only
would be.
difference is that I think that Tyler has a little bit better of a public appeal. Not saying that Mac doesn't because he was
I
like the
think Mac
nicest
was
guy
on
in
that
the
path.
world, but in the sense of the way that Tyler's operated, because Mac always still had a sense of like not. Oh, he was
Reclusive.
he was almost a superstar, but he kind of didn't like the spotlight either.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
was
know
reclusive,
if he would.
yeah, for sure.
I don't know if we're talking about 2026 right now. I don't know if Mac would have taken it quite as
I think he
large
would
as
have.
Tyler had.
Because I think that he would have those opportunities. I think that
I like the idea of it.
Yeah, I mean, like I think with the Ariana Grande feature, which is something that was kind of out of his wheelhouse. I know they were dating at the time, but I think Mac was actually, and you see a lot of these photos of people who, when he died, who posted, those photos were them in the studio. Mac was working with a lot of these artists. He was expanding his fan
He
base.
worked with everybody.
He was expanding his fan base, and there's like I forgot the name of the artist, but it's like the song Genius, and it's like one of these like young female rappers. But I'm like, I could see where he was expanding his influence, and I think that he would have continued to do that.
I think so. I do think so.
And I
too.
think that would have given him, he wouldn't have had to be like, Tyler's going to be more vocal and be more in the interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
But I do, and that's his personality. I think Mac's sphere of influence would have expanded. We've seen him on more features, and that would have upped his profile to that next level.
That's a good
Oh,
point.
trust, yeah.
That's a good point.
I am remiss
But-
to not see what Mac Miller could have became.
Any last what ifs before we
Yes,
move on? To our next-
I'm going to say, I got the two old ones for us today. One,
Kumo D, what if?
Yeah. Well, kind of. I would love to see, especially now when we talk, and it's actually a good transition from Mac Miller because one of Mac Miller's biggest hip hop influences
Big L.
is
Yeah.
Big L. You
Yes.
talk about what would have happened
That's
if
actually a
Big
great
L
what if.
would have been around, to actually have like a pure, actual debut album. Like, what would be the landscape of hip hop in the terms of especially in the East Coast side with the Biggies, with the Jay-Z's, when you have a big L right there. And I kind of sticking with the New York theme. I also would like to know how things would be, not so much as just talent, but how things would be different in terms of like with interaction with diplomats and everything in New York if it wasn't just Fat Joe, but if Big Pun was still around.
Yeah, that
Big
too.
Pun really only finally got his break for his big hit with Joe, Don't Want to Be a Player, and then he was big. He passed away, and so then it gave way to Fat Joe. But how would New York scene be different if Big L and Big Pun
I think
were
Big
still
L would have
around?
been
One
more.
more. Do you think Shine's a big what if or nah?
Who?
Big Sean.
Oh, Shine.
Shine.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you look back at the time. I don't know how much of that was
how
a puffy.
big of a what if, but yeah.
I don't know how
I
much of
think
that
it
was a
definitely
puffy
would've.
push. I think the whole thing about it was if that shit did not go down in that nightclub that night, how different our whole hip hop history would be. Because Diddy would probably still be with J-Lo for at least a while. That would change a lot of things on
Yeah,
terms of
wasn't
like
going to end with her. That's
Yeah,
for
well,
damn
that's-
sure.
that's-
She don't end with nobody.
no. But again, you would have Shine, who's
I
actually
would
would
try.
have an
I could change her.
who would have an opportunity.
I could change.
We're gonna edit
I
that
could
out.
change it.
So honestly,
No, we're not.
I'm not.
No, the hell we not.
but
We
I
leave
do
To be
that
think
shit
that-
right in
honest,
there.
I'm not familiar. Is Shine the guy who got murdered in the?
No.
whatever-
Shine was the person who ultimately took the fall for the nightclub shooting that Diddy
Took
was
the fall
involved
for
in.
it. Yeah, okay.
And now he's like he's like a congressman in Haiti. But the whole thing about it was his buzz, his bars, his like deep raspy voice was something so new that it actually was like kind of everyone gravitated toward it. It's a breath of fresh air, and it's an interesting thing when you talk about again that scene. What if Shine had been around and competing at the same time with the likes of like a DMX? I think that would have been an interesting rivalry because it'd be like the two deep voice rappers.
Yeah, I think to close it, unless anybody has anything else, another one that we have to mention, and you jogged my memory on it because of New York, so I'm glad you did. Was Pop Smoke? Obviously,
Yeah.
I think that's another one because that was the guy that like everybody in New York, like Fabio, like had his like moment, and then like it just didn't break through.
So
And then it was like Pop Smoke was like had a moment, and it was like everybody in New York was like,
here's my question.
"This is it."
Do you think that Pop Smoke got a national boost because of his death? Versus,
I mean, every artist,
I'm saying,
every
like,
artist does, but he
because-
was already pop. Like
he was popping, but I don't think that he was on the national consciousness as like superstar until he passed away and people. And like,
So
he
he
was
was
50
there.
Cent.
He was getting there though.
So
So he
I
was
would
standing
say-
next to people like 50 Cent. You know
So-
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I got the
I would
perfect
say
way of
that
describing it.
in the world of hip hop, he was
was
there, but like
he was becoming a superstar.
not. I wouldn't say he was fully
hip-hop.
So-
mainstream
Right.
completely, but like in the world of hip hop, like everybody.
It
knew
gives
who
one of
he
those
was
if
at
you
that
knew,
time.
you knew. But
Nah, he not one of those. If you
No,
if you
people
know
knew.
hip hop,
But I'm saying in terms of hip hop, like I'm saying, say the casual fan, the radio listener, I don't think they had that much.
casual
I
fan
got
for
the-
sure. For sure, no Pop Smoke. He had too many radios.
Well, and the
At
thing
the
with
time.
Pop Smoke that's different than a lot of other people is that he was I mean, drill music was already there, but he was pretty much the pioneer of mainstreaming New York drill,
New York,
which
yeah.
is its
Which
own
I
thing.
agree, but I think
Right,
of like
but we never heard him outside of that context of what
Yeah.
he may have
So,
done.
I
down
do
the
think he's a
line.
what if. I just think it's interesting to me because I think like even when I look at something like Dior, it really blew up after he died.
Yeah, it was huge.
Well, no, it was already pop.
It
so
was
to
big,
me-
but
to
it
me-
blew up
no.
after he died.
Nah, I think-
No,
that shit
it
So
was-
here,
it was
here,
big
hey,
before
hey.
he died,
So
but-
I got the perfect way of summarizing it. So what
It wasn't on the it
so-
wasn't on that, like JLB before that.
So why Pop Smoke is a what if is because he did get a boost when he passed. A lot of artists,
Every
a lot of artists do.
artist
Pretty
does.
much every artist does because there becomes lore and everything behind it and an emotional attachment. So Pop Smoke is a what if because you're right. His songs did get popular after he passed in a sense, but those songs were one, popular enough, and two, he clearly showed that he had the trajectory of being where he was when he passed, if not much higher than that.
Well, yeah, and that's again. I think when we talk about the what if, I do agree with it. He's 100% a what if, but We don't know if that what if is going to be Fetty Wap what if, where you have a couple of big hits and that's it, or if you have the longevity what if.
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was that though for Pop Smoke at all.
I have to look. I have to look at the
I feel
timeline to
like-
understand. To be honest,
I feel like they looked at Pop Smoke as too much of like a, cause like when you look at his background, like his videos of him beating on niggas, like he was like a real street nigga in motherfuckers' eyes. So it's like, I feel like he held more weight than Fetty, because Fetty Wap like melodic.
championed him?
He kind of make like soft music. So
No,
it's
no,
like,
I'm
that's the
not
thing.
saying
Who
that.
championed Fetty Wap versus like everybody
right.
was champion Pop.
yeah, exactly.
But
It's
my
like-
thing is,
Yeah,
I agree.
it's
like
a little
Pop
different.
Smoke was like at the cool table of people, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, and I'm not trying to say they're the same artist by any means, but what I'm saying is like we saw a lot of these cosigns again. They really hit the forefront after the fact. I do think that unlike we have, and it's a little bit different, but we're talking about like it's a lot of what ifs where it's just like you can kind of say, I don't want to say the exact same thing for Big L, but again, Big L got a huge boost of people being like, oh yeah, I was with him, I rock with him after the passing, even though his music we heard it's some of the foundational music of hip hop. But again, you go to your average hip hop connoisseur fan who's not like following the shit in the streets, not following a lot of the stuff. They had to get introduced to Big L. They don't like naturally on Big L. It's the same thing with Pop Smoke. I knew about Pop Smoke. I think everyone in the room here knew about Pop Smoke's music because that's what we do. We're deep in the culture. But the casual JOB,
General public.
yeah, your
I
casual
disagree.
JOB
I
listener.
disagree.
Social media makes sure you
Yeah.
know who Pop Smoke.
yeah.
But again, not
I say
everybody's-
I
This
just-
ain't
but
the 90s
everyone's
like
on
Big
different-
L.
but-
This ain't the 90s like Big
I
L.
think-
But
I
it's not
think-
every- it's everyone's on
his
various
name
things
was-
on.
I think we
and
can
he was
agree
too
to
much of a
disagree on this.
meme. Like,
Yeah.
maybe if you ain't know his music, you might have knew him as a meme. Like, I can't really remember all the memes as he was as a meme, but he was for sure like a
Yeah,
meme.
no,
You
he
know what
did
I'm
get
saying?
internet. Yeah,
I-
he did get internet push.
I think
But
I can see that too. And one thing also when it comes to like the Pop Smoke particular situation is that I think that honestly, like, which I will say that like Birdie, you probably are the most well versed in it. Is like right now, where is the biggest sound that's coming out of overall, like especially in the underground, is the DMV. Right? Like that area has been absolutely fucking going crazy.
Yeah.
And it's
Stay
not
tuned
quite,
for best new
it's-
music this week.
It's not quite drill. It's not quite drill. It's close, but not
it's
quite.
a cousin of it. Yeah.
I don't think that would have even been possible without Pop Smoke. Because look, you had Chief Keef. Chief Keef is really the pioneer of drill music in general. Like, I mean, if you really want to talk about it from day one, it is. It boils over to the UK. Somehow it ends up coming back to New York. So either Pop Smoke has a hand in what I think is the current day underground
Yeah.
to this day. That's the only thing. And this has kind of nothing to do with the what if, but it's about legacy conversation and
I agree.
what it actually starts as. I could pinpoint it for you between two beats next to each other and the way that people are rapping. He did have a lot to do with that because it brought drill music to the forefront. Chief Keef has always kind of been an underground artist as when you think of the mainstream.
He
my
only
mom
really
doesn't
had
know
two.
who Chief Keef
He had
is.
two really songs that
Yeah.
hit the Billboard. If I remember, I think it was literally "Don't Like" and "Love Sosa."
Yeah.
Those are the only ones that charted on the Billboard.
What?
Perhaps a couple others.
And
but
Pop
like
Smoke,
not
I can look it up.
Pop
Pop Smoke
was-
only hit JLB after he died.
Yeah, for sure. But I just want to say, as far as that conversation, is that I do think that if you're hearing the underground right now, the net spends, the
Yeah.
fucking whoever you want to call, whatever, Osa Mason, whatever, all these guys, these younger cats, it's like, I don't think you would have necessarily had that without Pop Smoke, which kind of in my head like contradicts the what if point because he's kind of reaching the if in my opinion.
Yeah, I think
Now,
we're
Yeah.
talking
I
about
could
two.
be wrong, but
But-
like
I mean, it's still
Because
it's
I
still
don't
his
want to.
career.
Yeah, I don't want to downplay the man's influence. The man has definitely got hip hop influence coming out. The wazoo, whatever. But the truth
Yeah,
is,
let's close with this, and then we'll
Yeah.
get to our next topic.
like I said, I just think that that's one of those ones where, like I said, the radio version, like the radio play, which gives you a lot of like what
Yeah.
your family gonna know versus what all of us who kind of follow this weekly would know. would be they didn't really hear about him until after death.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I just think it's an agree to disagree. I think he was like I think he was already popping, and did he reach a new level? Sure, but he would have reached that level and then some had he just continued to have.
And just
the
real quick,
push.
Chris, just so you know, the only other one was "Hate Being Sober," which hit on the hip hop charts. But he only had but Chief Keef only had the 2 that hit the U.S. Billboard Hot 100.
Okay. Let's go to some other legacies. We got a battle of the sources here. Maul said that J. Cole was dropping. Then I listened to the JBP podcast. He said that J. Cole was dropping the album and that it was supposed to drop in December. And then he was like, I don't know, maybe some industry politics, whatever, but it's dropping Thursday. I promise you. It's dropping Thursday. And then the Joe Budden podcast said that, I heard there's Joe Budden being petty, being like, hey, someone on the internet said, that not wanting to give him all the credit, was like somebody said somebody was dropping, and then they all talked as if it was Drake. And it was very confusing because Maul made it explicitly clear that it's J. Cole that's dropping, and the Joe Budden podcast made it specifically known that it was Drake that was supposed to drop. Now, here we are Friday. Shout out. None of them dropped. So I think the question is obviously not who do you believe more, none of that. I don't care about none of that. But it is interesting that both of them drummed up noise and it was different artists and neither of them dropped. So to me, I just want to play the game of, because I haven't asked this. We've talked about 2026. We've done a lot of forecasting. We did it on the last episode. It was a great episode. And I never actually sat back and thought about who's going to be the one to move first between those two.
I think
Drake is about to drop before the winter.
I think Drake.
I think Drake too, because I think Drake is so smart. I think he just
J. Cole has nothing to lose. He's just waiting for his time.
No, he has everything to lose. He has nothing to gain. Honestly.
No, what does he have to lose? He's the laughing stock of the industry. He's just waiting to drop his last album and then he's out. What does he have to lose? What are you talking? No.
Okay.
You
okay.
feel what I'm saying?
I think we're saying different things, but we're thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Because what does he gain from? Yeah, I get what you're saying.
He
Yeah.
doesn't
He
have
gains a lot from this album, actually.
He does. Legacy.
You think so?
J. Cole, unfortunately, is not going to be gifted a redemption tour of whatever. People will remember his place in all this shit that went on and whatever. But J. Cole can wait. Drake can't wait. Not the same way that J. Cole has
At this point, it's been 8 years, brother. We can do another 4.
Drake drops before this winter over, and J. Cole drops in the fall. That's how.
Yeah, that's a perfect world. I think.
I agree.
I think if you're Drake, and here's what I've said, and not to make it about this guy, but I think the one thing he did that was very smart, and he's done this multiple times, is what Kendrick does is he drops the end of the first quarter. The end of the first quarter, what does that cue up? That's right when festival season starts. And so then you drop your album, you give people a couple weeks to to love the songs, gravitate to the songs. You go on the tours, the festival runs, you do all of that. So then all year for the next 6 months, your name is everywhere. Your songs are charting, you're doing everything. Acts are very smart. And we're seeing it with Bruno. Bruno is doing that. Bruno just dropped a single,
ready for his tour.
Yeah, for the album, and the tour is ending in April. And you better believe. And shout out Anderson .Paak's gonna be there, so I'm debating on going.
What do they say about Bruno's album? It's like I did hear the single. It is pretty much just.
We'll talk about when it gets to the new music part. But my point being is that I think that Drake should, in his best interest, again, music is real estate. It's time. Time is real estate. So the longer you can be talked about, the better it does for your conversation. And I think if he drops end of first quarter, so somewhere between now and March or April, and then he leads into festival season. And obviously it's Drake. It's gonna have commercial records. It's gonna go. Mm-hmm. So you have that, brother. You're talking about. That's your case for MVP. That's your case for MVP.
And I know that you've been tracking this, so I kind of want to ask you a question about, because I have my own theory. But I want to ask you the question about, do you think that Drake Beyonce's this and kind of surprise drops just like
No.
everything? Because my thought process for this whole Drake rollout would be that because first off, this album is not going to be Drake at his like hardest, most tough bars. I don't think that's what he knows is gonna. I shouldn't say hardest stuff. I don't think he's gonna come out with that sort of like aggressive edge as much as he's gonna come out with more of like I'm going to, because what did he say? I'm trying to get the party jumping. I think he's gonna try to do a little bit more of that. And even with the singles you hear, you kind of get that vibe. I think he's gonna try to drop a song that's gonna be kind of plastered into the summer, like a true, like Nokia was a true hit. We can't deny that. I think he's gonna drop his album version of Nokia, but maybe not as commercial, but still in that realm of Drake. Let that build that momentum and get that heat, and then drop the album.
I mean, that's what
I think versus J. Cole. I'm sorry, just finish it.
Yeah.
But versus J. Cole, who I think would just drop like if I might delete later, where he's just gonna drop the whole fall off at once because he's not caring about the singles.
But real quick, I think the whole battle fucked up the Cole thing, and that's why this question is interesting to me, is because J. Cole has what in April? He has Dreamfest. So it is in his best interest to drop a project right before Dreamfest, like he did 2 years ago.
Last year, not the last year though.
That's what he said, but brother, you're J. Cole. You can make a call.
But it hasn't dropped yet. We're about 4 months out from or whatever.
Yeah.
5 months out from.
So
that.
we could have an announcement next couple weeks.
And
like,
festivals
but-
usually drop about 8 to 10 months
But-
in advance.
Because they got to get that pre-sale money.
No,
historically-
it doesn't. I don't know.
Okay, maybe it's not happening, but historically, this is how his like calendar is set. So it makes sense for J. Cole to drop in a first quarter. Then you have your festival that you own, that you run, and then it's festival season, and you're going, and he's literally said it in his features, in his rap records, like, I want the summer, blah, blah, blah. I thought about retiring, but I want 2 more summers. Like, he's done
He's
those
hinted
bars.
at it. Clouds
So,
and everything is hinted
for
at it.
me, it's interesting because I think both artists benefit from having a year that's entirely theirs, and I think both artists are capable of doing that. So it's actually, I never thought about it until now, like, who's the first one who's going to step out? And I think it's Drake, because Cole, historically, I mean, if there's anything we can say about the fall, it's that he's been patient with it.
Yeah.
So
and the only
it's got to be Drake, right? It's
When it
got to
com-
be Drake to drop first, right?
and-
If we're betting.
The only thing is, when it comes to Drake, that we can say for sure is that he honestly, surprisingly, he hasn't really used this to his advantage as far as drops have gone. But there is a time of the year that Drake is, I mean, his entire career we've been
October's
looking at.
very own.
October. That's the only way I feel that he drops in the fall. Otherwise, it's prior. But Drake has the ability to wait to that point because of the wave that it makes, because he is October's.
But when
very
he
own.
does, when he does
Whenever
drop
both
that,
of them drop. J. Cole's dropped in December multiple times. Like,
Right.
they
And
make noise whenever
like
they
I
drop.
said,
Yeah.
like I said, Drake has not used that drop time to his advantage really ever.
but
Yeah.
you know the thing
Outside
about
of-
that, every time he's done that, he's had some singles already out that have got the people so
in the
anticipatory.
summer,
yeah, like that. It's just like people are feeding for that album, so it makes sense then. Right now, Drake is coming from the first time, I think, in an album release like this, in a position of less power than he's had in the previous times. So I think he does want to still come out with a single, but I don't think he wants to, like, oh yeah, I'm Drake. My name gonna make you. You can wait 3 months off of just one God's Plan and Hotline Bling and make you fiend for this album.
I think they are equally hungry right now. All three of them.
I think
they're all trying to figure out how
I
to
think
move.
the
So
fan
is
base-
this the year that all three drop? It hasn't happened. One time it happened in 2016, but we don't really count it because the Kendrick drop was Untitled Unmastered. It was just throwaways. So they've never all three dropped in
I
the
don't
same
think so.
calendar
I
year.
think this
I don't
year-
think so.
I would be
if I would put-
surprised if Kendrick drops this year.
I would
Yes.
too, because I don't know. I
He's
wasn't
gonna
here-
sit back and wait and let it play out.
I know I wasn't here for last week's, but my surprise for this year is I think we finally get I know that we had the his original debut, but I think we finally get the debut we were expecting from Baby Keem this year, and I think Kendrick puts all of his energy into that Baby Keem drop.
That would
Yeah,
be
I mean-
fucking. I'd love that.
Yeah, I'd love to see what Baby Keem does.
love
But
Baby
let's
Keem.
stick with the with the conversation here with Cole.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so
and
I don't
Drake,
think
yeah.
Kendrick drops this year.
I don't think so either.
do think that I'm positive we're going to get the Drake drop at some point this year.
Yes.
I am 70% sure on J. Cole because this is
Yeah.
his masterpiece that he's been hyping up now for over 5 years.
And he teased
8
it.
years.
He
8
spray,
years.
he did that spray paint thing, and he spray painted 2026 on something. And
Yeah.
he's like, this. And
I
that.
could see.
He
I
mentioned
could
the
easily-
fall off in KOD 2018.
Yeah, I can
mean, we knew it
easily
wasn't
see
supposed
him.
to come the next year.
But I could easily
because
see
he
him.
dropped his plan. He said, KOD
But we
in the
still haven't got
offseason,
that. It's a boy.
It's
or
a boy,
whatever
yeah.
they're
That's what I'm
talking
saying.
about.
That's why, to me, I can easily see J. Cole delaying this because he really wants this to be his magnum opus. So I do see him delaying this. I could see another I could see It's a Boy drop, honestly, before I would believe the fall off unless I get something solid. I know Iceman is dropping this year.
And when
it
comes
has to.
But when it comes to
Yes,
J. Cole,
of
what
course.
does he have to prove at this point? Because everyone he's already been made this, I hate to say laughing stock, but I love J. Cole personally. I have no problem with him. But among the industry, so what the fuck does he have to prove at this point? He's just trying to get his last shit out and get the fuck on. Which is why he can wait as long as the fuck he wants
can.
to.
Drake-
He doesn't. He's not
Drake's
on
a
a
timeline.
timeline where Drake feels. I feel like he's on a timeline. I hate to say redemption arc, but
I mean,
he kind of.
you gotta think as a competitor for him, even if that's like Birdie, I know that you were like, yeah, it's not really redemption arc for him. I know you probably believe that too, but still, in his mind, he's a competitor.
Yeah, he's trying. He wants to compete.
He wants that number one spot, and right now, I feel like no matter what everyone feels about whatever happened, he in his mind, I'm sure, feels like I think this is why I'm actually kind of excited for this Drake album because this is the first time I think we're gonna see a hungry Drake in a while.
Yeah.
Like the hungriest
I'm
Drake we would have
confident.
had would have been views.
Nothing was the same.
Or, well, nothing was the same. It would have been not views, but what's the black album? The Scorpion. Yeah, it would have
Yeah.
been that. But the Pusha T shit happened so close to release date that only 1 or 2 songs were really altered before that. This is gonna be Drake now with a year to cook
Full
on
post
everything.
beef, yeah.
What
I
has
think
happened? I think
before
that's why it's always.
everything.
This is why I said in this podcast before. That's why I don't need a Drake album or every artist to drop every year. I want you to have some life experience. I'm anticipating this may be. I don't know if it's going to be a classic, but I do think this is going to be one of the best Drake albums we've heard in a long
Exactly
time
what I was
because
gonna
he's
say.
got
It's gonna be-
something to rap
It's
about.
gonna be shit or get off the pot, and
my-
I said it's
yeah.
gonna be. It's gonna
And Drake's
be
a good enough
classic.
artist
I think
where
it's
he's
going to-
not going to let. He's a good enough artist where, unless it's complete trash, he's going to come with the hungriest we've seen him in a long time. And I think Drake is a good enough artist where his pen game, his delivery, his beats, everything is going to be on point where it makes sense.
I am
agree.
confident that he is going to be nothing but sure that this is going to be some of his best work. And that's what I'm standing behind because I want to hear I've been going back through and listening to Drake albums, and I listened to Nothing Was the Same.
If you're reading
If
this,
You're Reading This, I listen to Views. I listen to More Life. I've been going back through it, and he's so fucking talented. And it's not to say that any of what has happened in the past 2 years has diminished the talent that he necessarily has. But I do think that he feels as though he has something to prove. And I think that he also does understand that overall the reception of For All the Dogs was not great. As far as on par with a Drake album of what the reception should be.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was inherently bad.
I am.
It's still better than a lot of other artists, but
yeah.
what I'm saying is I think that
It's a twofer.
he has that dog
has-
in him right now.
He has that. For All the Dogs didn't have the cultural impact that he thought it would. And then you have the whole beef situation. So you have two things that
you
you
have
really
these
are
thi-
trying to come back
Right.
from.
I think that he is taking very calculated movements at this moment to move forward. And I don't think that whatever comes out from this point is not deeply thought about and
yes.
calculated and
I think he
and
used
pinpointed.
I think he used those 3 releases last year to kind of gauge what the scene
Temp.
was.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be anything. It was never meant to be like a rollout. Those were
Let's
just
see how we feeling.
yeah. Let's just see.
Temperature
Let me
check.
see. Let me do a heat check real quick.
Yeah.
And so I think right now he's in the lab. That's why you haven't seen additional versions of it. He's cooking to try to make what he wants to be. I think his career defining move, because now whatever he drops, all eyes are on him. And like you said, it's the shit or get off the pot. Because if this thing is mediocre, then his like ironclad grasp on the genre may slip.
Well, here's the thing before I toss to Birdie when it comes to this is that I've always said quickly that the thing about this next Drake album is I've said that for several years he's been on a backside. For several years, for several projects, he's been on a backside. Doesn't mean that he's not great, but just means that it's a backslide from the standard that he was at, from the level that he was at. So this, like you guys outlined, for all the reasons, he has never had more motivation behind a project. And you look at Drake's history,
And also not much
he's
time between projects.
that much time. And you also look at the fact that Drake has always done best with his back against the wall. You look at Nothing Was the Same. What happened? Nothing Was the Same. The year before that was Good Kid, Mad City. And that was the emergence of Kendrick. And then all of a sudden, Kendrick was immediately the darling, and it was him or Drake. It was automatically already, the media had already made it a competition off of Good Kid, Mad City before they even made a competition. They were collaborators. They were friends. So for Drake, he's never had more reason, more drive since then, in my opinion. You can outline the Scorpion, but again, you brought up the good point that Scorpion was almost finished. So to me, this is the moment where Drake proves to me personally, Chris Platte, as a Drake fan, I didn't like CLB. I didn't like Darkland demo tapes. I didn't like For All the Dogs. I didn't like Honestly Nevermind. I didn't like More Life. Like that is 5 projects in a row. I had problems with Scorpion. I like Scorpion, but I had problems with it.
Scorpion
6.
too.
So that's 6 projects in a row that I liked from Drake, but I had issues with them as opposed to the previous bodies of work that Drake had put out before that. So we are talking about a long slide, in my opinion, in Chris Platte's opinion only. This moment is the moment where he proves to me, was it a slide that you didn't care? Because the industry has made all sorts of conversations about, oh, he's been trying to get out of his deal. Certified Lover Boy was an album full of leaks that he dropped. They dropped that they were all in the vault for 2, 3, 4, or 5 years. We all heard these demos, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, never mind. Honestly, never mind was something to do. That was fun. That was fun. Darkling demo tapes, just getting rid of some records. So the conversation has been, oh, Drake's just kind of been flowing to get out of his deal, to renegotiate, all of that stuff. Now, okay, now you get to prove to me, was it this or was it that?
You got the mic, Negro. Take it.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. I don't know.
No, I'm saying to Drake. You got. Is it your time? You got the mic, Negro. Take it.
You know what?
I was very confused.
You're not Negro, buddy.
Let's bring the floor down.
I don't know what to say.
Birdie, how do you
Thanks.
feel?
No.
How do you feel as far as Drake going forward?
That was crazy.
Drake as of recent, what's your projection here?
I would say I'm not entirely sure because I'm on the line on how the album gonna go, whether it's gonna be like more of a tough talk and I gotta respond to the criticism over the last year and the dudes that I've been going through it with, or is this about to be, like Bryce said, like it's gonna be party music like Nokia or whatnot? Because if it is kind of like more party-ish, more R&B-ish, it's like it's not really going to hold that weight that it need to, because that's not what we're trying to hear right now, from Drake.
Because, I guess what I would say is, like, I feel like the thing is like, you have, when you think of Drake, it's like one or the other. But, like, me listening to Nothing Was the Same the other day is, like, perfect balance of the in-between.
He's always had both.
The in-between. I feel like my confidence is not in one way or the other when it comes to whatever he's about to do. But I do think that it doesn't matter if he's rapping, it doesn't matter if he's singing, it doesn't matter what he's doing, but I think that he's going to take very, very much care in making sure that it's really good music. That's, I think, the objective.
I just think it should be more of one thing than the other right now.
You do think that?
Yeah, like more of one thing. Not saying he shouldn't have both on the album, but it should be more of one thing rather than
Which one is it? Or do you not want to say? Do you want to say?
Platte?
No, I want you to say it. Because I honestly don't know.
I mean, he did
said it.
He
I
did
literally
say
just said
it. He
it,
did
but
say he
since
was.
Platte wasn't
He
listening,
was.
I want to hear more of Drake responding to the criticism and everything he's going through, and possibly the people he's been dealing with.
But yeah,
Okay, so
that's
which one?
That's where I feel
My
like
bad,
I
my
feel like
bad.
the difference. Like, I'm not looking for or expecting one thing or the other in that aspect from him, but I do think that when it comes to this album, he's going to take very particular care in how he approaches it and how he
Hashtag
does
take
it.
care.
And
To be
I
fair,
think
I feel
it's going to be very
I don't think
curated,
it's really
good
gonna
music.
be like how I want it to be, because Iceman don't really give me the vibes with that type of title.
I think
But you don't.
I feel like it's gonna
You
be a bunch of
never
sweet
know when
songs.
it comes to a title, though.
I think what it's gonna be, if I had to make a prediction of how the Drake album's gonna sound, I think it's gonna start with the beat where he's just gonna say all the things that get people riled up. He's gonna drop those one-liners about whether it's subs at Kendrick, whether it's it's gonna start with legacy talk. The album is gonna start with legacy talk, and then it's gonna shift to party shit. And then halfway through the album, then he'll get to some more introspective shit. Then he'll bring some more party shit. I think it's gonna be one of those things where I think it is gonna be a balance. I think he is gonna go Nothing Was the Same, because I think of that Rap Radar interview, and he even talked about people love Nothing Was the Same because it's his most concise. So like he's actually aware of the conversation.
If there's one thing about Drake, he's very, very aware
Self-aware.
of everything, of what people say.
I think
about
sometimes
him,
that's even a detriment to him.
It could be, absolutely, but he is extremely aware of
Yes.
his
Perception.
standing and perception and what
Yeah.
people have to say about him and what they like about him and what they don't. In fact, I think Drake has that over pretty much everybody when it comes to these. That when you're talking high stakes like that, when it comes to like your worldwide superstars like Drake, I think that he probably has the best perception of what people think about him because he's actually on social media. He sees what people say about him.
He's kind of the Kevin Durant of
He understands the sides of it for sure. I do fully think that that's 100% true.
Yeah.
But I really I think that he is I think his objective on this album is to put his best foot forward.
Yeah.
And to make it's not whether it's about addressing this or making the best R&B. I think his objective is to make the best music he can
My quick question is, what time and what city? Because we got to do the timestamp. So what time and what city are we doing for this album?
He's gonna go for the
1146 in Detroit.
He's gonna do 1146 in some place in LA.
How about
100%?
How about 616 in LA?
No, he doesn't
616 in
repeat.
LA.
He doesn't repeat
He
cities.
doesn't. Did he do LA? Oh, he did Calabasas. So he'll do another. He'll do.
So sometime in Compton. That'll be his
He's
response.
He's gonna run out of cities. He's gonna be like 426
midnight in
Indianapolis.
It's gonna be midnight in Compton. It's not gonna be a Kendrick diss, but that's gonna be his like subtle.
Yeah. No, I honestly I think that's exactly how he's going to handle it. But okay, so I think we all agree unanimously as a room to wrap this topic up, that we believe that Drake is dropping before J. Cole. We're
Yes.
just like we're all with J. Cole. Like, hey,
I think
wait
so.
and see. Wait and see. Like maybe this is the year.
And we know that they're friends, so you know they're not going to compete or step on each other's release date.
I think that J. Cole is friends with Drake. I don't think that's a two-way street.
Well, not anymore, but
Yeah.
I also know that J. Cole would not step on, because he's, like he said, he loves both of them. He's not stepping on anybody's toes.
And similarly,
He also wants his own shine.
I think J. Cole understands that he is. I mean,
What a fucking sweetheart.
To our dismay, he's like, he's in a separate category at this point, and I don't think that anyone on either end really cares. I think J. Cole is just kind of. He's figuring out and finalizing whatever he wants to do, and he will time it accordingly.
And like I say, because the man is a fan of hip hop too, so I think he thinks the way we all think. Right now, him coming out is still going to have the Drake "What's Coming Next" component to it. He's staying out of it. I think he's going to let Drake do his thing, and then he's going to. Well, he's like, yeah, I get to continue to work on my magnum opus. I know that it's not the competitive nature, but J. Cole follow hip hop like the rest of us too. I think that he knows that right now what everyone is waiting for is what's Drake's next move.
Yeah,
I agree. With
I
that.
agree, man. Listen, of all the big three, if I'm ever privileged enough to have a conversation with any of them, I'm actually picking J. Cole. I think he is the most fascinating one of all three to talk to. And I also think he'd give the best answers.
Yeah, let's be honest. Kendrick is not going to be a great interview. Drake is going to give you a
Kendrick-
lot of lies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
J. Cole's going to give
I
you
don't
the
know, man.
honest truth.
Yeah, no. J. Cole is like if there's anything out of all three of them, J. Cole's a man of the people. He is a relatable person as opposed
That
to
man on his
rides a bike.
that man on his bike right now,
Yeah.
just
No.
biking through the streets.
Listening to the Rap Game podcast. J. Cole is a fan. You should be a fan. Like, comment, share, subscribe.
There it is.
his manager's cousin told me that J. Cole's a fan of the podcast. Yeah.
No, yeah, he is for sure. But before we get out of here, new music. We got the first single off the Rocky album, which is interesting because when we talked about Rocky, we talked about that Taylor Swift song is probably going to be on the album because he did the music video behind it, all that.
Allegedly, it's not.
Allegedly, it's not. It's a 2-disc album, but the second disc is only 2 songs and the trailer, so it seems like really, really weird. Unless
Like
they're like
bonus
18-minute
Yeah,
songs. I don't know.
ain't
I
Hey,
don't.
stupid dumbass.
Yeah.
bullshit.
How
I don't know.
how did
Rocky's
we
doing
feel-
that.
How
but-
did everybody feel about the single?
So before I get to that, let me just outline everything that dropped. Yeah, but we're gonna talk about Rocky. Also, Bruno dropped his single for his album that he announced in February. That's gonna be a big deal. And then also, what were some of the other drops? I know IDK and Pusha T had that single.
IDK and Pusha T. I texted Bryce about that today.
Yo,
Hey.
shout out to my man IDK. Let's
Hey.
go.
Yo,
Pusha T, first verse I've rewound in 2026. Like
fucking
early
insane.
verse of the year candidate.
That's what
We're in the first
saw.
week.
I
but
saw a tweet that is like
that
Pusha-
verse was fire.
Pusha T literally cannot do like every single time.
As,
That
an,
shit
as,
was
an
fire.
ID, as an IDK fan, I will tell
Have you heard that, Birdie? So
He
I'll
said
show,
no.
I'll
We'll
show it
play.
to you. I'll show you the Pusha T verse after the show. It's
I was gonna say,
fucking
as an
fantastic.
IDK fan,
He said I got go actually
No, the song, the
Nah, it
verse
is
is
the song.
yeah, it's really good.
as an IDK fan, I will tell you, IDK's portion of the song is not great.
I don't like the hook.
The hook's not great. This is not my favorite IDK song, but listening to when Pusha came on, bro, that Pusha's
Pusha
insane.
T, yeah, verse incredible. Really, really dope. I just want to highlight everything else that dropped. A single from Reason, a single from Jordan Ward on his upcoming album, a single from Chief Keef, Fire. I don't know if we're gonna spend a lot of time on that, so I just want to say
It was fire.
Check it out. French Montana and Max B dropped Coke Wave 3.5.
Oh yeah, Max B's out.
That was
too.
the only.
Yeah.
That was the only
That's all I've been-
project. But yeah, that was it. So it was a short week. Everybody
wait,
kind of
no,
just putting up. Oh,
I,
and then
I got a couple more. Like Larry June dropped the
Larry
whole
June
video
did
with
drop,
Who Coppin. We got the Hit Boy, which was not that great. Shout out Ari
oh
Lennox.
wait, the Hit Boy, was that the music video where he talked about being robbed?
Yes.
That shit was fire. That was fucking
one take?
fire. He showed the video of him. He showed the video of him like of like security footage of his home, right? And it showed like the people breaking in, trying to rob it, whatever. And then up top was a split screen. The bottom was the security footage, and then the up top split screen was him with all his chains and all his Grammys and shit, holding that shit, just rapping. That was fucking cold. That was fucking. I really fucked with the visuals and the song.
The bars
Hit Boy is a fucking phenomenal.
The bars
rapper.
outside of that were kind of hit or miss.
Nah.
I do want to shout out a couple other people. Ari Lennox drop, Your Old Drew drop, which was actually pretty dope.
I fuck with Your Old Drew so heavy. I
Heavy.
know he dropped. I
dropped,
really like Your Old
featuring
Drew a lot.
Wiki. Wiki also dropped.
Yeah, well, Wiki's dope. You're the only person on this podcast that would mention Your Old Drew. I fuck with.
Oh
I
yeah,
love that.
That's like that old school New York shit. Kai Cash with Code of the Fiend dropped. That was pretty dope. Let me see. There was something else I wanted to highlight on here too. Chris Crack, who is someone who I hadn't listened to in a minute. Also, Fashawn.
That's right now.
Fashawn, who I haven't like listened to since back in the fucking blog era, dropped and actually wasn't terrible.
I'm not even familiar with it.
Actually, wasn't terrible. It gives me not a lot of reason to listen.
No, I would listen.
But you did say
well, it was a full project, so that's
Okay,
why like
fair.
some of it was better than others.
There was a time, yeah. I mean, there was a project by Code of the Friend I really liked too. I don't. He's had some.
It's
interesting press.
It's been hit or miss for him, and he's been up and down.
Hit or miss is a
I
very
don't
interesting
know if
term
I
to
can
use.
stand behind him, but there was an album.
Well,
I
you
really
know the
liked
thing
by
about
him.
it, the Shauna from DTP fame was featured on that song, and she actually dropped a fire verse.
Fascinating. I honestly like. I've always thought Code of the Friend.
You go, girl.
I
I don't know, son.
I always liked him a lot. He had like a 2020, 2021-ish
Yeah.
album that I really liked. I've heard things. I don't know what's true. It's all alleged. So
Yeah.
I'm
But-
gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I think there are really only a couple things that you really want to talk about in terms of new releases. So let's dive in.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you completely one-upping me. No, that was crazy. No, I actually got more research. I got more research to do. 2026. I guess I lost the step. I gotta get it
4 days ago in bed. Like
I gotta get it back, man. I got a bronze medal on my chest. I didn't explain that to start
why
the
you didn't
show.
get them
but
golds. That's
yeah,
why you didn't get them
exactly.
golds.
I gotta get the gold, man. Hey,
He was sitting there waiting for you, just rubbing his hands
yeah,
together like
dude.
he can't wait.
Birdman
Like
hair.
Birdman.
All right, listen, we got a next couple weeks ahead of us. We got ASAP Rocky's single leading into his album next week. It's gonna be very interesting. Bruno Mars dropping. I think it's very interesting that the fourth quarter we got a lot of things happening. We got a lot. First quarter, right? I think that's a sign that we're in for a big year. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this next episode of the Rap Cave. But for now,
baby.
Q1 baby, episode 91. We're approaching 100. We're getting
100.
Close. We're getting close to 100.
CP 100.
CP always keeping it 100. But for now, thank you guys for tuning in. Please let us know what you thought of all the new drops, as well as going forward, what you think of the legacy of J. Cole and Drake. What are your expectations for their album? Who do you think is dropping first? Also, Fetty Wapp, and just what is your greatest hip hop? What if it could be a song? It could be a person. It could be whatever you want it to be. I'm curious to see. I'm gonna tap in with the comments.
Hey, what's up? Hello. Thanks for
what's
watching.
up? Hello. But Bryce flying in from somewhere nice.
Hey, you need that eye down like this.
B Mike Birdie, CB Cowboy Brian, and Big AP on the ones and twos.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, everybody, for tapping into this podcast. I greatly appreciate it. I'm Chris Platte, a.k.a. Platte Paz, a.k.a. not an elitist, just elite in this hip-hop shit. I thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.